を倒すまで
諦めんのお前だよ。
とくと見よう視察ファイヤーバードスター
I have something to tell you guys, and I know some of you won't like it. I know some of you will foam at the mouth because of it, and I know the few servants of darkness hidden amongst us today will rejoice. But it's important nevertheless. I did it. I committed the ultimate betrayal. I gave into the fanatic demands. I finally started One Piece. And it washes your favorite show with these. Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball, they're all shit in comparison. The foreshadowing alone puts it heads and shoulders above everything else. Just give it a couple hundred episodes, man, and you'll be hooked. Oh my days. I'm starting to sound like them already. Don't look at me, please. Now don't get me wrong, guys. Any show that needs 1,000+ episodes should not exist, period. I don't care if it cures blindness, cancer, or your inability to get a bad bitch. That show should not be made. But One Piece is genuinely different. And after watching a good few episodes, I began to see something incredible developing. Something so amazing I had to make this video on it. I felt the show was trying to teach me something. And that something is what I want to describe to you guys today. So here I go. But first, please like, subscribe, comment. Additionally, there will be spoilers, so if you're not caught up to Skypiea, Walter 7, and his lobby, please click off this video immediately because this video will focus on those 3 arcs. Thank you. Now, let's begin. One Piece taught me how to be a man.
Oh, brother!
Oh, here, lads, like, come on, like, stop the booing, can the cheering, stay in your seats, don't click off this video. Let me land, gosh damn it. Gosh, I thought you guys were cool. But watching the show, I couldn't help but feel this message was being beamed line straight into my brain, especially from these 2 characters, with the last one being the most critical and personal of all. But before I get to him, let's start with our main man, Monkey D. Luffy. Now, I did not get this guy at all. Let me give you some background. I went from a full-blown One Piece hater to just a doubter, to someone who recognized that One Piece was an OG of the anime game, but it just wasn't for me, to now someone who's preaching about its greatness. And about 90% of my refusal to get into the anime was rooted in this guy. Just look at him. Some straw hatted wearing bastard with stretchy powers and the dumbest looking face on earth just didn't sit right with me for some reason. I guess what I'm trying to say is I wasn't used to ugly main characters. I need that girl, you don't know what you do to me level of handsomeness from my main characters. But as I raked up the hours in One Piece, something started to shift. I began to look forward to that stupid look on his face, cause I knew shit was going down. Now a game face ain't nothing new to anime. Goku has it, Ichigo has it. Basically, if you're a him in your series, you gotta have a game face. Sorry Krillin, this doesn't count. Neither does this Yamcha. Ouch. But I noticed Luffy gets his game face more often. When he's fighting, yes, but also when he's making a critical decision for his crew, like choosing to abandon the Going Merry, or when someone is being vulnerable with him with a piece of information about their backstory. For example, Mont Blanc Cricket explaining his ancestors' actions. And this is key. In all these situations, Luffy has an ability to collect a wide range of information with various viewpoints, weigh them up in his head, make a decision, then follow through with it until the very end. And here it lies, the first lesson that One Piece teaches us on manhood. That as a man, you're going to be thrown into a bunch of different situations. You're going to hear various variations of stories. Your feelings are going to pull you to the left. Your loyalties are going to pull you to the right. And if you're not careful, if you're not capable of listening to the most important parts, of making that big decision, then following through while bearing the consequences of your decision, you are going to go nowhere. Cause make no mistake, Luffy loved the Going Merry, and he knew abandoning it would greatly hurt Usopp, but he also knew what the experts told him was correct, that the Going Merry wouldn't last long. So when Usopp confronted Luffy on his decision and challenged him for the fate of the Going Merry, Luffy had the confidence to stand on his decision, to deal a finishing blow to Usopp in the duel, and to accept the consequence of losing Usopp as a member of his Straw Hats.
それがキャプテンだろ。迷うな。
A beautiful segue into our next character, Zoro. Zoro is what I and most people think of when we imagine an ideal man. He's strong, tall, good speaker, supremely confident, and he isn't too bad in the eyes. Not in a kind of weird way, but the way his muscles kind of bulge when he gets to a sword stance, or that gleam in his eyes when he meets a worthy opponent. It's kind of manly. Kind of does something for me. Like, well, I'm on this up. Yeah, sure. Cool, stop. What I'm trying to say is, he'd fit into that alpha male crowd perfectly. Well, except for one thing. Zoro isn't the leader, and it's not even close. Like, I would genuinely argue, in terms of who has more authority on that ship, Nami has a bigger say than Zoro. When crunch time hits, Zoro will literally threaten others to wait until Luffy has made a decision. And don't even let Luffy make that decision, because Nami may argue, Usopp may argue, Sanji may argue, Chopper may argue. Zoro gonna stand 10 toes on his captain's orders. That's crazy. You and even the show at times would think this is at odds with the masculine frame he presents, particularly nowadays where almost everyone, like red pillars, social media girlies, and some of your own friends are screaming that men need to be their own boss, fuck a 9 to 5, everyone else is a slave to the matrix, do your own thing, listen to no one, except when I tell you to buy my course, then give me all your fucking money. But on closer inspection, I think this is an extremely important lesson for guys here, that you don't need to be the main star of a show to be your own man. You don't need to be this overbearing alpha male who dominates everywhere he goes and everyone follows and everyone hangs on every word. You don't need to be the richest, the top dog. At times, working your 9 to 5, completing your own personal goals is how you be a man. Cause Zoro has his own ambitions to become the strongest swordsman in the world. But when Luffy saved him from execution and asked him to join his crew, he accepted with the full knowledge that this man is now his boss. And didn't stop Zoro from achieving his own goals. In fact, traveling with Luffy allowed Zoro to become a much stronger swordsman. But the key here is to choose someone worthy of becoming your leader. Someone you admire, someone you respect. And the importance of this respect was so great to Zoro, he threatened to leave the Straw Hats if Luffy made a decision which would decrease the respect Zoro has for him.
仮にもこの俺の上に立つ男がだらしねえ真似しやがったら、今度は俺がこの一味を抜けてやるぞ。
So if you're in your 9 to 5 and you're using the money to achieve your own goals, you're good. Or if you're working under someone and help you become someone better, that's great. We all become men in our own way. Nowhere is that more applicable than with our last guy. Usopp is a strange case, but in a lot of ways he's not. He's a coward for sure, always the first to run in the slightest bit of danger. But can you really blame him? The guy is armed with a slingshot, fighting against literal gods, angels, androids, assassins, animal chimera assassins. Like, fuck him. But he always comes back to help his friends. He's the biggest scaredy cat, constantly needing the threat of being left behind or violence to explore somewhere scary. Yet he wants to become a brave warrior of the sea. And pushing through your fears to achieve your goals could easily be a lesson on manhood on its own. That even if you lose, it's the fact that you stood for yourself that marks you as a man. But there's something deeper here I want to explore, something rather dark. That if you go down this route, if you decide to stand on your own 2 feet, fight your fears and accomplish your desires even when you're scared, people are going to see that and they're going to treat you accordingly. You're no longer going to be a baby in their eyes. You're no longer going to be a weakling, a dependent, some to look down on, some to pity if things get tough. You're going to be a man. You see, when Usopp went back to the Frankie's house to retrieve the stolen money, he received the deadliest beating I'd seen in anime for a while now. It was nasty. And when the Straw Hats found his bloody heap outside, they didn't start bawling their eyes out. They didn't cry out, oh poor Usopp. They didn't even tend to his wounds. They left him there and stood on business.
Back it up, 2, 2, 3, gon' make a nigga back it up. 21 trying to strip a nigga, gotta change my outfit.
This wasn't done out of malice or ignorance or because they hate Usopp, but because they see Usopp as a man and a valued member of the Straw Hats. This added to the fact that Usopp wasn't on his literal deathbed, made them focus on the bigger issue at hand, the insult to Usopp's pride and the pride of the Straw Hats as a whole. So guys, be careful what you ask for, because if you go down this path of becoming a man, a better man, you will never enjoy the comfort of being the little bro ever again. Please like, subscribe, comment. Thank you guys, love.